Akira was a clueless virgin noob who, like you, would do anything to score a shot with a girl. Thankfully, the god of shitty anime tropes noticed him and decided to let him bond with a girl with drooleries. However, he'll have to figure out if he's truly in love or just has a drool addiction. Akira was a young teenage virgin boy who sat beside a new transfer student weirdo named Urabe Mikoto that slept through classes like an old drunk and avoided hanging out with her peers. Like a cultured idiot, he licked her sweet drool after class one day and remembered the strange vivid dream he had of a girl who looked exactly like Urabe. The next day, he fell sick in school, had to stay at home for a few days, and Urabe went to visit him, where she told him he got the cold from licking her drool. She transferred drool from her mouth to her finger and asked Akira to suck it off her finger like a lollipop, which healed him. Apparently, Akira had become addicted to Urabe's drool and was experiencing withdrawal. However, another taste of the drool made him recover. She told him it had nothing to do with chemicals or bacteria, but that he was lovesick. He went back to school the next day and Urabe offered to walk home with him and fed him her drool again so he wouldn't be stuck at home with sickness withdrawal, which soon became their daily routine. Akira had a weird dream about Urabe again and summoned courage to ask her out. However, Urabe asked him to prove to her that he really wanted her. He tried to exchange saliva with her and suck on her lips, but she stopped him and asked for something more original. She said she would wait for him, no matter how long he took to prove his love for her. So he tore up the picture of his first crush in her presence. Akira's incredibly dramatic display of affection surprised Urabe so much that she drooled in awe like a neglected bulldog. She asked if he was a virgin and told him she was too. Then she explained that the day she burst out laughing in class like a tickly maniac was because she was staring at him and heard a voice telling her that he was going to be the first person to develop plot with her, and that she had been waiting for him to tell her he loved her. That was how Akira got his first girlfriend. One day, Akira and his male classmates were rating the girls in their class out of 10 points, but his thoughts are far from the present, and he rated his new girlfriend 1,000 points. During lunch break, he asked his friend Ueno for advice on what to do with a hypothetical girlfriend and was told to hold hands with her. However, when he tried to hold Urabe, she refused him flatly. The only thing Urabe did with him was give him more drools, which was not enough for Akira. The next day, he asked Ueno what came before holding hands, and Ueno told him communication, talking about hobbies and cringy stuff clueless grade schoolers do. So like a virgin knew, he went to perform their drool ritual after school, after which he asked Urabe what her hobbies were, but she mentioned something he had never heard before. Turns out she's into scissors, and she went ahead to show him a trick of scissoring a piece of cloth to a flower shape. But while doing that, she flashed her plots in front of Akira and put the scissors inside it. Akira was baffled, even though little Johnny probably liked it. But she told him she did not mind, but only for him, and as expected, he didn't mind too. That night, Akira dreamed of Urabe's scissors tearing up a white cloth to unveil her in her birthday suit and white panties. The next day, Urabe offered him a candy, but he refused, which made her leave without doing their usual drool routine. No! 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 Only to come back to put the candy in his mouth. He tried to grab her like a cultured maniac, but she pulled a freaking scissors from her panties, wielding it like Wonder Woman, and almost tore him to pieces. She told him never to grab her like a wild animal on heat, and this made him think harder of other ways to make their relationship normal. The next day, Ueno gifted him movie tickets. Akira saw it as an opportunity to bond with his girlfriend, but his hopes were dashed on the hard pavement floor when she told him she had other plans. Instead of an enthusiastic yes to a movie date, she gave a disappointed Akira some drool. He was sad and asked if he really was her boyfriend, or was just a placeholder, because he didn't feel like they were a normal couple. Urabe told him that their special bond was her drool, and that she did not share it with anyone else. She went further to take him to a lonely building and asked him to shut his eyes because she had something to prove to him. Undressed and asked him to open his mouth to receive a special drool, which made his heart beat faster and his little Johnny aroused. She quickly dressed up and they walked home together, her undressing unbeknownst to Akira, who had his eyes shut all through. While walking home, Akira remembered a dream he had of developing plot with Urabe, which made him blush in real time. But when Urabe asked why, he said it was a secret. Then Urabe put her finger in his mouth and sucked his drool, which made her know the dream he had, and she ran away after telling him she wouldn't plot with a doll on her head like he saw in his dreams. The next day, Akira finds out his friend Ueno had a secret girlfriend named Oka, who he was secretly kissing. This made Akira wonder how it would feel like to kiss his girlfriend. But when he asked Urabe, she blushed and gave him a test tube of drool to take before going to bed that night, which made him dream of kissing her. She asked to kiss him the next day, but he foolishly said they should wait till they understand each other's feelings, whatever that meant. A love triangle started when their classmate named Ogata, who was their class Ronaldo, confessed his feelings to Urabe and asked her out. However, when Urabe put her spittle in his mouth, he was not obsessed with her like Akira was, so she knew it was not going to work. That day, Urabe gave Akira her plots to show they understood each other, but were not ready to kiss yet. Ueno informed Akira that they would start wearing the summer PE uniform, which meant the girls' bodies would look great unlike their hideous grandma winter jerseys that hid their Coca-Cola bottle-shaped bodies. This made Akira begin to fantasize about his girlfriend's banging body in a PE uniform. Ueno's girlfriend, Oka, shared her lunch with Urabe, and they began to get along, even to the point of dressing her wound. But when Oka asked Urabe to be friends with her, Urabe said no to the request, saying she did not need any friends. However, Oka became deeply connected to Urabe when she drank from the same bottle as Urabe and swallowed her drool, causing the injury that appeared on Urabe's skin to magically appear on Oka's skin, as if someone pressed Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V on the injury. By tasting Oka's drool the next day, Urabe revealed she had not kissed her boyfriend yet, and that confirmed that Oka and Urabe were now physically and emotionally attached together. Urabe and Oka became friends and started sharing lunch together from that moment, much to the shock of their boyfriends Akira and Ueno, who could not believe Urabe could be friends with anyone. One day during soccer practice, the boys played a dumb pervy game of peeping at the girls while they practiced in their swimsuits. A guy named Nishida went first and kicked the ball into the bush. While they went to fetch it, Ueno kicked his directly into the bush too, and while fetching it, he peeped through the fence at Oka in her swimsuit. When it was Akira's turn to kick the ball and peep at his girlfriend, he slipped and fell on the field like a clumsy idiot and missed his chance. After school that day, Akira and Urabe walked home and took shelter from the rain by a tree on the way, where he found Urabe's scent attractive. He asked if she was wearing a perfume, but it was just her sweaty scent, which Urabe proved by licking her sweaty skin that reminded her of the sea. When Akira licked her sweat too, he could see her in a bikini by the sea, just the way Urabe was remembering it in her mind. Then he asked her to spend the summer break together, which she agreed to. They met up during the summer break to continue their drool routine, but Urabe did not even give our homeboy a chance to take her to a date, until one day when she finally agreed on a date to the beach, which got Akira really excited to see his saliva baddie in a hot swimsuit. When they finally met up, Akira saw that Urabe had gotten into tan, but it made her look so different and hot with a bikini, and he admired her beautiful shape while she swam. She took her scarf off her waist to show him the tan line from the panty-scissors weapon she always wore. This made Akira's sausage as hard as a brick, and he swam away to hide his little Johnny. She promised to show him again the next summer, making Akira's little Johnny throb excitedly in anticipation, like a little dog wagging its tail. Oka ran into Akira in the city on the last day of summer, and they got ice cream together while he stared at her melons. He found out from Oka that she and Ueno called each other by their first names sometimes, but Urabe only called him Tsubaki-kun when they resumed school after the break. Ueno asked Akira who he went to the beach with, but Akira lied that he went with his sister because he was a coward shy of admitting that he had a girlfriend. Meanwhile, Urabe refused Oka's suggestion to go on a first-name basis with her boyfriend. But when Akira woke her up from a nap by calling her by her first name, she smiled and blushed so hard that her entire face was like a tomato. The next day, Akira asked to take a picture of Urabe with his camera, but she said it was pointless to fake a smile for a photo and declined. His first crush in junior high, named Hayakawa, met him on the bridge while he was waiting for Urabe after school the next day and asked to meet for coffee anytime he was free. When he turned around, Urabe was waiting for him and had recognized the girl from the photo he tore when he professed love to her. He asked Urabe if she would be mad if he went out for coffee with Hayakawa. Then Urabe put her drool in his mouth to show him how heartbroken she would be if he took Hayakawa up on her offer. After convincing her that he loved her more, he proceeded to take a goofy picture of Urabe to keep in his wallet as a keepsake. Seeing him so openly in love with her made her drool all over her shirt. Urabe became the second fastest girl in their class, almost beating Yajima, the fastest racer, but she declined the offer to join the school track team. However, she started training during lunch break so she could still walk home with Akira. But this was not enough for Akira, who wanted Urabe all to himself like a 2-year-old attached to their first Barbie doll. Akira caught a cold the next day and missed class, which made Yurobei visit him at home again. Oka gave Yurobei an idea to wear a swimsuit under her coat to make Akira feel better. So when Yurobei gave Akira her drool, he felt the summer sun and instantly had a reboot of energy while Yurobei felt cold from his illness. The next day, she came first place in the relay race, much to the surprise of the whole school, and wore Akira's name tag on her legs to show that her legs belonged to him. Like a greedy dog, he really wanted her beautiful legs and mysteriousness all to himself. In another of Akira's dreams, he dreamed of fondling Yurobei's ripe melons, and he started visualizing them in everything, from meatballs to magazines. As he wandered around town to clear his head, he ran into Yurobei in front of her apartment on her way back from grocery shopping, so she invited him in for tea. When they got to her apartment on the 10th floor, her family was not home, and like a weirdo, when she went in to prepare the tea, he went to check how her bed smelled like, all the while thinking of her supple melons. It started to rain, and it was dark as he held her from falling when it thundered. He tried to touch her bubbly melons, and she almost scissored him to his demise. So he confessed his dream to her, and she gave him her drool to let him experience how touching her melons would feel like. He started crying at the gloriousness of the experience, so she let him feel them on a countdown. He could not believe he was really feeling them, and became so overwhelmed with pleasure that he began to lick her ears like a puppy. Yurobei felt so good with the sensation that she did not even stop Akira with her panty-scissors and was paralyzed on the floor with pleasure even after Akira left. She gave Oka her drool to show her how good and hot she felt the day before, and discovered from Oka that it was normal to experience body changes when in love. When she met Akira to go home together, Akira explained that he felt bad for making her cry and asked her to slap him for hurting her. Yurobei obliged him with a dirty slap and went ahead to ask him to touch her ear, which brought her tears of happiness. She then told him that she had not been the same since he touched her ear in a pleasurable way that made her heart beat like drums and her legs paralyzed with tingling sensation. They soon parted ways, feeling so in love and thinking of each other on their way home. Yurobei went to school the next day with her hair looking like a failed do-it-yourself experiment, and before Akira could suggest that she do something about her hair, Oka beat him to it and took Yurobei to the changing room to style her hair in cute puffs that made her look less of a hideous assassin like she did before. Throughout that day, everybody complimented her new look, and some boys were talking about asking her out. This bothered Akira so much that he asked her to go back to her old hairstyle, because he was a jealous and insecure new. Yurobei listened to her insecure boyfriend, messed up her hair again to please him, but letting him touch her hair and ruffle it felt so good. When Oka offered to style her again, Yurobei declined, but Smarty Pants Oka figured out that Akira was the reason Yurobei let her hair down again. Yurobei went ahead to mess up Oka's hair to show her how it felt with Akira, and Oka liked it so much that she asked her Ueno to do that to her. Oka fogged up her glasses and almost passed out with the pleasure of her hair being messed up. Meanwhile, the boys at school started selling pictures of Yurobei with her cute hairstyle, much to the displeasure of a very furious Akira, who felt possessive of his girlfriend. The boys said she looked a lot like Ame Momoka, an idol who was very popular and pretty, and hearing this made Sherlock Akira curious, so he went to a bookstore to buy magazines of Ame Momoka after school. Ame Momoka really looked like his Yurobei Makoto, even with all the bikini pictures and the smiles he never got to see. Ueno informed Yurobei that their boyfriend told her that Akira bought Ame Momoka magazines, so Yurobei confronted Akira about it. Akira explained that he bought the magazine because she looked like her, so Yurobei asked him to show her his favorite. When he did, she tore the magazine with her panty-scissors in anger, telling him he had no freaking business liking idols that looked like her. Akira went to the bookstore the next day to buy another limited edition photo book of Ame Momoka, even after this serious warning from Yurobei. On his way out of the bookstore, he ran into Hayakawa, whom he did not recognize at first glance because she cut her hair. When Hayakawa asked if he had a girlfriend, he lied that he did not have one, but Hayakawa said she thought he had a girlfriend because he did not recognize her both times they ran into each other, and another girl may have probably made him forget about her. She informed him that her boyfriend broke up with her recently, and that she liked talking with him, which made Akira go ahead to tell her that he couldn't believe any guy would break up with her, and this made her break down in tears. Hayakawa asked if they could meet often to lighten up her mood. Then Akira jokingly asked if he could taste her drool. He would. She let him, and he almost sucked her drool off her finger, until he remembered he might break the bond he had with Yurobei if he acted on impulse and took the drool. This confirmed Hayakawa's suspicions of Akira, having a girlfriend, and he finally admitted to it after his foolery. Hayakawa tried to seduce Akira with her drool, but soon realized that Akira loved his girlfriend too much to do it. She asked for Akira's girlfriend's name and went her way. At home, Hayakawa felt so bad that Akira had a girlfriend and felt the need to have him taste her drool so bad like an animal in heat. She met Yurabei the next day and tried to introduce herself, but Yurabei knew her already from the picture Akira tore in her presence, so she asked her what she wanted from her, only for Hayakawa to hand her a cultural festival invitation and hurried away. Hayakawa, being an evil mastermind, called Akira at night to show him a self-invented bruise on her face, lying that her ex-boyfriend came to her home to hit her. She then used his pity as an excuse to invite him to the same cultural festival event and asked him to pretend to be her boyfriend so that her ex would leave her alone. Using her short skirt, which was barely past her plots, along with her long legs and puppy face, she was able to sway Akira to her will. Meanwhile, he did not know that it was a deadly trap. The next day, Yurabei asked Akira if he had plans for Sunday. Then Akira lied that he was going shopping with Ueno, so he would not be free. Yurabei found out that Akira was lying from Oka, who already had plans with Ueno, and this made her suspicious of her boyfriend. At the cultural festival, the mischievous Hayakawa dressed up in her junior high uniform and wore a long hair wig just to make Akira remember who he loved first. Throughout the cultural festival, Hayakawa clung to Akira's arm as she coaxed him to pretend to be her boyfriend against his wish. Oka and Ueno went to the festival too, and Oka tried out the waiter costume that made other boys find her attractive and take pictures of her. While Ueno ran away in jealousy and anger like an only child crying for attention, Oka stalked Akira with another girl who was not Yurabei. Hayakawa led Akira to a classroom that was exactly like their junior high classroom, just to bring back memories of the past. Oka listened to their conversation and discovered that Akira had a crush on the strange girl in the past and watched as Akira resisted Hayakawa's desperate advances. Hayakawa practically threw herself at Akira as she begged him to touch her hair and taste her drool, and while he was contemplating, Oka brought out a camera to have photo evidence in case Akira cheated on his girlfriend. However, Yurabei, dressed as a robot, stopped her and blindfolded Akira, so he would decide whose drool was sweeter and who he really wanted. Akira started bleeding when he tasted Yurabei's drool and knew at once that she was the one. It turned out that Yurabei was completely naked under the cardboard robot costume, and that was why her drool was too sweet for Akira. When Hayakawa got naked, and Akira tasted her drool, but he felt nothing and Hayakawa cried tears of rejection. Apparently, she was just a pain stat hag who only wanted someone to love and comfort her after her ex dumped her ugly ass. Yurabei tasted Hayakawa's drool and told her that she would find someone that would love her one day. Akira opened his eyes to find his girlfriend and his former crush completely unclad, with their plump melons staring at him in the eye. And this made his sausage twitch multiple times at the sight of the plots loaded out just for him. Hayakawa and Yurabei ended things on cordial terms, while a foolish Akira fell on the floor after being hit for removing his blindfold. Akira apologized to Yurabei for lying about his whereabouts, but Yurabei revealed that it was normal and that she had someone she liked before coming to his school, and she would probably meet him up in secret too. When Akira got sad about it, Yurabei told him that if he felt sad at the thought of her doing it, he should not have met with his crush. However, she assured him that there was no one else she liked but him. The next day, Oka asked Yurabei to show her the panty-scissors trick, to which Yurabei bluntly declined. She then asked her how Akira has been since he saw her plotless body, after which she also revealed the picture she took of Yurabei's body at the cultural festival. This made Yurabei unsheath her scissors from her panties and tore up the photo in a sleek ninja move. Oka found it so cool that Yurabei could do that trick. Meanwhile, it turns out Oka was right, and Akira could only think of Yurabei's plotless body since the day of the cultural festival. She tasted Akira's drool, and her heart started to beat fast the way Akira felt while thinking of his naked girlfriend. Her heart continued to palpitate along with her high temperature, and this continued even after she got home. Meanwhile, Akira's dirty thoughts were still making him glitch like an old granny's computer, which affected his daily routine. When she scratched him with her scissors while fending off his desperate hugs, she felt bad that she hurt him and invited him to her apartment to treat his almost non-existent injuries.
No!
Like a cultured clown, Akira smelled her damp, sweaty pillows while Yurabei was getting the first aid kit. Yurabei revealed that she did not know the reason her hand quivered like an epileptic when doing the panty-scissors trick, and that it was unlike her. When she tried to give him her drool so he could understand her, he started to leave for home because all he could see was her plotless body, and he did not want it to get worse. He soon fell down in an attempt to avoid hugging her, so she hugged him and told him she would rather be hugged her than hurt himself. She refused to tell him the pervy dream that had her all sweaty the previous night, but her aim got better after the hug with Akira had snapped her out of her haze. Meanwhile, Oka tried to cut Ueno's bangs with the panty-scissors trick, but ended up hurting his forehead. This gave Ueno and Akira matching forehead scars. A girl named Suwano came to inform Akira that their teacher wanted to meet him about guidance counseling. Then she saw that his gauze was coming off and fixed it. Urabe saw the exchange and was not pleased, however. Akira asked for the gauze back and put it back on because he preferred Urabe's gauze. That day, after their drool routine, Akira hugged Urabe, and she did not pull out her scissors to defend herself from his hug this time. Akira came back from school one day to meet his sister, Yuko, drooling all over the table in her nap, and she blushed when he asked her if she had a boyfriend. She left for the market the next day, and Urabe ran into her and introduced herself to her. Then they ended up going on a coffee date together. Yuko told Urabe that her school uniform made her feel nostalgic for high school. She asked her if she knew anyone Akira was seeing and told her a bit of her love life in high school, and how Akira took her by surprise by asking if she had a boyfriend. Apparently, she had been dreaming of her high school boyfriend Arima when she was napping and drooling like a leaking tap. She told Urabe that she drifted from Arima after high school because he went to a far university and moved away. She also ends up revealing that her and Akira's mom was late before they parted ways. Akira, his sister, and their old dad visited their late mom's grave to report their progress in life. Their father told Yuko that he did not have to raise Akira and always do a report because she had her own life to live too. Urabe met Akira in school the next day and told him about her encounter with his sister and how his sister used to have a boyfriend, and Akira opened up about his mother's death when he was a kid. Then Urabe asked him to take her to his mother's grave. Although Akira did not understand why she wanted to see his mother's grave, he considered it a date because they would not be going in their school uniforms. Urabe showed up looking pretty in a dress and with a bouquet of flowers, looking like she was going to a party instead of visiting a grave at the cemetery. When they arrived at the grave, Urabe unpacked the food she brought, ate, and greeted Akira's mother as though she could see her. She told Akira that she dressed up well because she was seeing her boyfriend's mother, even if she was late. Akira was touched because he did not think of it that way, and he hardly remembered any memories with his mom. To help him, Urabe asked to exchange drools with his hand on the tombstone to unlock memories. This made them both tear up, and Urabe promised to make Akira smile more and do more inappropriate 18+ things with Akira. Do you think this is the weirdest way for people to fall in love? Let us know if you want more anime with unconventional tropes like this by commenting Akira the Dentist in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you guys in the next video.